The What's Good Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Javon with What's Good Podcast Season 3. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode with your girl. As you guys and gals know, I do not have interviews. Instead, I have genuine conversations. So let's get into it. Today, we have a Wild Card Wednesday for you, and we do have Keem the Franchise with us. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
That's good. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking.
Good.
And so, as you guys know, we always get started with icebreakers. So, you ready for your icebreakers,
Let's
King?
break this ice.
Okay. I love it. Okay. So, how have you been staying productive and motivated while working through the pandemic?
Great question. I got two younger nephews that are my why to everything. And I see how they watch a lot of stuff that I do, that I say. They highly involved on TikTok. So I use that as motivation just to do what I'm supposed to do, just to stay, productive and prioritize because I know how they're watching me. And so that's been helpful just as far as just my response to this whole thing, just keeping them in mind, as far as what I do. So that's really what's been my driving force through this whole thing is, all right, I got these two young nephews, they watching how I move. So that's really been a driving force for me.
I love that. So, you're a big family man.
Yeah, I love my family. I really do. I really
You're in
do.
the same boat. I'm the same way. So, I definitely get it.
Without question. So, yep.
So let's get into our genuine conversation. I've been starting off this season with, whoever my guest is. I'm just, who is King the Franchise?
That's a lot. Um, I'm a teacher. I'm an uncle. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a mentor. I'm a life learner. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a recent back surgery survivor from the cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, I've survived quite a bit. I'm passionate. I'm a rapper. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an editor. So it's a lot of things to it, to Keem the Franchise. So that's kind of like the small version of it. But yeah,
I
yeah,
see you have a lot of layers to you.
I do. I do.
And so, how did you create the name King the Franchise?
So crazy. Fabulous has always been like one of my favorite rappers. And I had just went by Keem. My name is Joaquin, and everybody would call me Keem and Junior, Little Joaquin. But I was so in love with Fabulous. I'm like, I need a name with an F. Like, it just has to have an F. So I flipped through the dictionary. This is no lie. I flipped through the dictionary and I was going through every F, just seeing how it sound. And I got to franchise, and it just had this ring to it. So I'm like, I'm gonna be King of Franchise. And what's crazy from that, the more I just kind of studied it, kind of took on a life of its own, as far as just duplicating business and handling business, and being a franchise player. And I just really tagged that on to me, just duplicating love. Like, love was already built. Franchise is essentially a business that already is established, and you just kind of take on what they do and just expand on that. So me, the love of God, peace, joy, and inspiration, I've just taken that and expanded on that. So that's where the franchise comes, just franchising love and hope and inspiration and all that good stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And so, I know you mentioned that you're a filmmaker, you're a life learner, as well as an artist.
Yeah.
So, what developed first? Was it an artist? Well, I mean, I guess that goes hand in hand with being a filmmaker because it's being creative, right? So,
Yeah.
which one usually came in first?
What really came in first was the music. And I honestly, I think I noticed the music first.
Mhm.
Um, and so through the music, I will always see my music. I will always take, out my aunts or my family will have cameras, and I will always be the one with the camera. I will always be the one either in front of it or behind it. And so once I, just kind of developed my passion for music, that kind of was like secondary. And I had ended up moving to Houston. And while I was in Houston, I could not find anyone to shoot a video for me. So I decided to go to school for video. And it just, when I went to school, I just remember the first day, it just like something exploded, you know what I'm saying? And I just really connected with it. From there, met a lot of people, started, shooting a lot of films and different things. And so it just kind of went hand in hand what I already was seeing through my music, just kind of bringing that to life visually. And so from there, just things just kind of begin to like unfold, if you will, when I, got in school and being around other creatives, a lot of different things just kind of start unfolding for me. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it a strategic move going to Houston, or it was just family? Did it have anything to do with your career?
I was in love.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know how sometimes that kind of, have you going places, have you doing stuff. So yeah, I followed her there. And my plans and dreams didn't kind of work out in that regard. But you know how you always, it's just crazy on this road to life. You have plans and, sometimes things just go not according to your plan, but it works out. And so, even though I went there for another purpose, God just started revealing to me other stuff and, other purpose and passion and people and plans. And so, yeah, through that wasn't my original plan to go there for music. I was just going there. I'm in love. I'm going to still, do this.
Right.
And stuff started unfolding. I started meeting different people, eating different food. That was my first time living. I was born and raised in Detroit. And so just going there, like, it just something just unlocked. Like, people talk like this?
That's different thing.
And, I started eating sushi. I've never had sushi before. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it really opened me up as far as just like diversity. You know what I'm saying? And just empathy and sympathy towards people and understanding their story. And, so, yeah, a lot. That's why I always encourage people to travel. So.
I love it. Now I have to ask, what school did you go to in Houston?
So I originally started here at Eastern Michigan University, and then I ended up going to Houston Community College. They got a fantastic film program, and so I ended up going there and getting my associates in filmmaking while I was there. So
nice. Yep. So I had to ask because I went to TSU. So
okay,
Houston is my second home.
I love it down there. I miss it. Got a lot of good friends. Thinking about going back there. I miss it. I love it a lot. So
nice. So do you feel, as you mentioned, going to Houston, did you feel like you explored a lot as far as the filmmaking and music, or it was just one or the other?
Both. They both just began to, grow. When I was down there, I was doing a lot of music. I was offered a deal with Matthew Knowles. That didn't work out. That kind of crushed me a little bit, but I was offered a deal through that just from, again, just working through music and, just things happening and just me staying the course and believing, I don't really have no formula to how things happen, but just faith, consistency, and, just believing. And so, that kind of opened a door, which the door was closed, but it opened up a door to other things for me. And again, just they both been kind of parallel. So from that, I just been and so that has been opening up from film to fashion to, production. So a lot of things media driven. I'm starting to see that's, just kind of being plucked or raised out of me, if you will.
And so for, the artists that are watching or listening to this, from what I'm understanding, you guys go through a lot. As you mentioned, with Matthew Knowles, the situation with Matthew Knowles, sometimes, management comes to play and then that may not work. Me just talking to different artists, you guys go through the most. So with that particular situation with Matthew Knowles, what made you continue to pursue the career even though that big opportunity fell through?
Yeah, it crushed me because we were having meetings, we were talking. He was in the process of rebuilding the label. I was the first rapper on the label. It just was a lot of great things in place for me. But once I saw that contract and had somebody read over it, they was like, hey, you're gonna be famous, but you're gonna be broke as hell. You know, so they went through that whole thing, and it hurt me once we got into negotiation, and the response to me was like, you need me, I don't need you. You know, so what kept me in the midst of that, and it exposed myself to myself, and it exposed a lot of artists, our reason for it, for doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? I did what I did because of my love for music, my love for hip hop, my love for people, my love for wanting to encourage people. And that's the only thing that has kept me through, because it's up, it's down, is you don't know, you walking through, like, you know, the only thing that keeps me is looking within, you know, and it's not the goal, it's more so the motivation behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's more so the engine. It's not so, okay, I'm going to get to the Grammys. I'm going to get to the Source Awards. I'm going to get to this tour. You know what I'm saying? It's really what motivates me is the love for it. And that's what keeps me going, you know, as, you know, things don't happen the way we planned or wanted to, but just the why behind it, you know, continues to drive and push me. And yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into your EP, Black Summer.
Yeah.
I want to know, because I've been jamming it, right? I ain't gonna lie. I got some couple of lyrics I want to talk to you about that opened my eyes. I was like, oh, he you know, he was talking about everything.
I was.
So, what made you be so vulnerable to talk about the different things? I know it's like 6 songs, but you included a lot within those 6 songs about foods, about, you know, people being shady, about, you know, the summertime breeze, good vibes. You had a little bit of everything in there. So what made you be vulnerable and pick those specific topics for your songs?
Well, when the pandemic happened and you know, me working at the school, they shut everything down, and so I was at home, so I had a lot of time with my family, had a lot of time to reflect. And you know, this was back in March, and back in March I just I'm like, oh my God, I got all this time. It's been a dream of mine to have that time to be able to be an artist, so I took advantage of it. Like I woke up, did my work, it wasn't much for us to do, and I just went straight to recording, and I'm just recording everything, just, you know. And so I created this just this momentum, and I just was recording just like every day, like literally, like get up, record. And I just was recording songs, and I saw just a new level of energy coming out of me. And you know, stuff started happening, you know. So I wasn't really speaking on it, I was just kind of bottling it up by recording, you know, just kind of like, let me record and stay focused, get over it. You know, then my godmother passed, you know, which is my mom's best friend, and, you know, known her since birth. She's been, you know, my mom. My mom stays in Dallas, so she's been my mom here. That happened, you know, then I started thinking about last summer where I was, you know, and I'm like, man, last summer was rough for me. I had just had bad surgery, got out of a terrible relationship, bottling it up, but still, you know, recording other stuff. You know, then I started seeing like the prejudice, the injustice. Then when I saw that thing happen with George Floyd, like it just, something snapped. Like it snapped. There was, you know, I started off with this thing called Rising Tide. You know, I felt like something was rising, and it just overflowed. And I just started to take on like, yo, I need to say something. I have a voice. I have 2 younger men, my nephews watching me. Like, I gotta say something. And then that happened. And then my friends, like, I love these guys. Like, my boys, like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we'll talk more about that. But then, you know, just to be backstabbed in that situation where, you know, money came in, you know, the government, they was being very nice to us, you know what I'm saying? And so we had a business, and they decided to, you know, use that business to their advantage and exclude, you know, kick me out. And I ended up finding out, and it just was, and that just pushed me to another edge. And I just was like, you know, I just was like, I felt this anger. I felt the resolve with it, but I was just angry. And I was like, I need to speak about this, because oftentimes, you know, I'm just kumbaya. All right, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Everything is good. But I felt like I needed to speak about what's going to be okay. You know know what I'm saying? I needed to shed light on this dark, because I think oftentimes I'm very general, like, yo, you go through stuff, it'll be okay. But this time I want to say, no, I went through a relationship because I caught this woman that I love cheating on me on the phone, but I'm going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? So I want to just share, just, you know, be just vulnerable, transparent. You know what I'm saying? Because in the midst of this, I'm like, I'm human. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm seeing this stuff happen, you know, and it was personal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much for us like, let me put something together that's marketable. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we're going to market me. We're not going to do no marketing. We're going to market who I am. You know what I'm saying? We're going to share. I'm going to be really authentic. And so it was new for me. It wasn't scary for me to record because it came from a sincere place. You know, it was hurt. You know, it got to the point to I wanted to be revengeful. You know, I talk about all that. And so I just unleashed that, you know, and so just seeing just the dynamic of it. I was in the dark space, which was Black, my people, which are Black, you know what I'm saying, the time frame, which is summer. And so it was a Black summer for me. And, you know, I was like, you know what? This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to share. And through that, it began some healing and just me being vulnerable, which was scary, and transparent. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's this quote that I don't know if you're familiar who Lecrae is, but he says that, you know, if you live for man's acceptance, you would die from their rejection. And I got to this place where I was just like, I have to be me. You know what I'm saying? I have to, you know, Shakespeare said, to thy own self be true. But like, I'm like, I gotta really live this thing, you know. And so that's what Black Summer was birthed out, you know what I'm saying, during this time frame. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm like I'm at the edge. It's a new level for me. I'm just like, let's go. You know.
Really, really good. And so I like asking artists this type of question. I like getting y'all business.
Let's do it.
It's when you guys, because you know, mainstream, a lot of their teams kind of form them and mold them like, no, even though that's what you want to do, that's not what we want to do, because we want to market you something different. What does your management team look like? Because as you mentioned, you didn't want to market anything but yourself. And so when it comes to you keeping that type of team that will accept that, what does it look like?
That's a great question. I've been really fortunate, and the prayer of mine was just answered, that I would find somebody that's a fan of who I am. And we have the same goals, you know. That's just important in any relationship. You know what I'm saying? That you are just the same values, the same goals, same mission. I think a lot of times we look for that at, you know, in people we're going to date or marry, but that's important in business. That's important in school relationships, working relationships. And so I was really fortunate to find someone that was a fan of my music, and wanted to push who I am, understood my heart, my craft, my passion, you know, my experience. And so my management, you know, shout out to Alanya and Caring Management, been really dope at that. And like, okay, we love what you're doing. We love what you're speaking about. Now let's find a way, and let's find the people you connect with. And that's also what's been a blessing to me, in not having a deal or being an independent artist. You know, I have the freedom to be myself. You know what I'm saying? And again, we take the route of marketing who I am, opposed to just marketing or, you know, packaging something. You know, and it's been a slow cook. It hasn't been, you know, no microwave or drive-through. But what's crazy about that is I noticed, you know, shout out to my sister. She's an amazing cook. I noticed the stuff that she cooks in the slow cooker, it's a lot better than the microwave. Like, the microwave is quick. You know what I'm saying? You get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's this after, or this, it's like, but this stuff in the slow cooker that takes hours, even days at times, you're like, when it's gonna happen. But how filling it is, how lasting it is, how nutritious it is. And so just, you know, seeing that and understanding the two of that, which I, again, just been fortunate, just through time and experience and life, just as an independent artist, you know, just to see this stuff unfold to me. So my management has been really supportive in who I am, you know, and then again, it connects with their values and their morals and, you know what I'm saying, their mission. So it's just a dope connection that we connect.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
And so, as you mentioned, you just got into a situation where you just wanted to write and get the project started.
Yeah.
How did you choose those particular songs? Because in my mind, I would think that y'all, because I know people have bulks of music.
Yeah.
And so how did you bring it down to just 6 songs versus, okay, I want 10. No, that sounds good. How did you pick those particular songs?
When the snap happened, I
Mhm.
was really intentional about it. Like I saw it. Like I
Mhm.
immediately when God rest his soul, George Floyd, when I saw that, something snapped in me. And I was like, you know what, I'm about to do an EP on everything that I'm dealing with. And I just went through the things, and I kind of tried to coincide, just make these connect with Black Summer, like, Rising Tide, then Last Summer, then Shade,
Mhm.
and Carry On, and Life Being the Beach, Life's a Beach. I was just really intentional about um, getting my point across, and it's just a lot of things that I've learned being a teacher that I'm
Mhm.
also just kind of incorporating. I teach 4th grade, and so just seeing how the more you're honest and authentic, what I'm saying, and simplifying things, we do that in math. We simplify stuff. What I'm
Sure.
saying? So granted, I could have talked about it's a lot, what I'm saying? It's a huge, but I was just really intentional. I made a decision, because oftentimes as an artist, being creators, we can be really perfectionists. So I'm just like, let me kill everything that's gonna stop me, what I'm saying, from moving forward. And so, I
Mhm.
thought my management, I said, hey, this is what I want to do. I know the tracks, I know the producers. We start working on plan, So I think what really helped me is that I was decisive. I
Yeah.
was really decisive about it. And oftentimes that's a hard thing as a creative, to
Mhm.
say,
Yes, it
I'm gonna
is.
do this, I need to change this,
Mhm.
I said, nope, I'm a go with my first thought because I got a
Mhm.
feeling that that's the right thing to do. And, from the
Mhm.
music to, this the first time that I didn't write anything down. And I didn't remember stuff. I would record, stop, think, record, stop, think, record, stop, think, and
Mhm.
the stuff just started just coming out. And
Mhm.
it was authentic, it was natural, it was me. Some stuff was shocking, to come from me, but I'm like, it's me. I want
Right.
to be honest about this, this human dynamic of who I am. So I was real intentional about it. I was very intentional and direct for maybe the first time in my life. So
That's good. So there is a particular lyric
okay.
that caught my eye. I was like, ain't he gonna end the song like this? Do you know what part I'm talking
I think I may know. I think I know.
about?
Is it on Shade?
It
I
is.
know.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Said fake friends or white cops who hate your black skin.
Yeah.
Which one was worse? So I was like, I want more. Because that part was just so
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
What inspired that particular lyric? Because I know you mentioned like you have gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And for you to put that in there, I'm sure people was like, is he talking about me?
Yeah. I mean, you would think again that this, the time frame that we're in, what I'm saying? Like there's an enemy to us. Like, why are you being like, I'm not the enemy, and then again, it put me in that space because, these guys who I, really love and look up to, what I'm saying? You would think with everything going on, we would come together. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be some type of unity. And it just put me in a weird space. Like, at first it's like, okay, this the enemy, not white cops, but necessarily racist people, people that are racist or, the injustices that's happening. And then for this to happen, like you're supposed to be my boy, like this money, this loan, like, and you like do this to me, and like it just really put me in the middle to like, okay, I'm going through this, and I'm going, oh, this is even worse too. So I don't know what is worse. Is it worse that my friends are fake, or is it worse that I have to deal with you know, a white cop that hate my black skin. So it just really put me in the middle, like, and this, what's the lesser of two evils? Like, this sucks on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And again, what's so crazy is, you know, the song was about, again, just my situation with my friends that just went totally left, you know, but just to end it on that note, again, just the climate that we're in with the racism and everything, you know, so I'm dealing with this situation with my friends, and this can just bring it back to, again, the whole George Floyd thing that just kind of set off, you know, something in me for me to end it that way.
I love it. I jammed that one. I was like, yeah, lyrically, and as I was reading like your story and everything, I was like, yeah, like I do see a full story when I listen
Yeah,
to your
I
music.
appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate
And
that
so,
a lot. It means a whole lot. It really does.
I listen. I'm not gonna come up here and be like, yeah, we just gonna interview you. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're not gonna do no stuff like that.
Yeah, I
We
appreciate
really don't, you know, I'm a real supporter, so you don't
it.
even have to.
I'm glad we connected. I'm definitely glad we connected.
Indeed. And so I do have another segment. It's our highs and lows. And this is, you know, my storytelling portion that I really, really love. Because I feel like with this portion, people really learn from
Mhm.
other people's experiences. So if they go through
Yeah.
it, they know what to do based on the resources and tips that's given within the segment.
Okay.
So what are some highs that you've gone through where you can pat yourself on the back? Keem did it. I came out on top. Hoorah.
Definitely surviving cancer. That's probably been, that's been the biggest battle of my life. You know, 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and to endure that for 2 years, I did like 10 months of chemotherapy. The chemo is worse than the cancer. And just to see that the changes that my body went through, like literally being in pain every day, to, you know, bleeding and passing out, and, you know, I'm like visibly ill, you know what I'm saying? Not just walking around here. No, I was literally ill, you know, hospitalized, and just going through that, and mentally not knowing, you know what I'm saying, day to day, am I going to wake up? Then I started going to chemo, and people that I would be in chemo with, you know, you come back the next day and you're like, where George at? Oh, he didn't make it. Or, you know, they plug you up, because I had a port in my arm. I had to have a port, you know, when I was going through the chemo. They plug you up, they do the surgery, and they connect the port. Some people have to get it, you know, in their heart or on their chest because it's closer to the vein. But fortunately, mine was here in this main vein. And so getting plugged up to that. And so, you know, every other week getting plugged up to that, and then come back and see someone get plugged up, and then they flatline, you know. So it's a lot of things. We probably have to do another segment on that alone, just going through that. And sometimes I even have this survivor's remorse, because oftentimes people reach out to me that I know, you know, that may have got cancer, or somebody in their family, or somebody died from it. And it moves me differently. I would never forget my last day of chemo. And anybody know me, like, I love gym shoes. Like, I keep a fresh pair of gym shoes. Like, that's just been my thing. Like, I like gym shoes. It's real nostalgic for me. I like gym shoes. So maybe a day after, I went to Foot Action, and I got some shoes, and they asked me, they was like, would you like to donate to cancer research? And I've ignored that question so many times, like
Right.
so many times. But this time, like, it hit me different. Like, it hit me really different. I was like, yeah. And it just, you know, flashed in my mind just what I went through during that. And granted, you know, I was praying, reading a lot of good stuff. I watched a lot of Martin, like just a lot of happy stuff. You know, I had a really good support system. My mom, had a lot of people praying for me, calling me, just being real positive. You know, so I didn't get through this on my own. You know, I had a really great support system. But overcoming that, and just even till this day, there are battles, because there were people that I was in there with, was this they third round, they fourth round. So I deal with that fear of, is it coming back? Oh, my throat hurting. Oh, I got a little, you know, something. Is that cancer? You know, I still have to do checkups and certain things, but that has definitely been something that has shifted my whole outlook on life. You know what I'm saying? As far
Mhm.
as how I move, what I do, who I involve myself with,
Mhm.
my bucket list. That has really, just done a lot to me, and so that has definitely been one of, my highest moments of overcoming that and being able to live and tell people like, hey, it is beauty on the other side. Like, you can't get through this. Like, if you never seen the witness, if you never seen a miracle, you looking at one, so
Mhm.
um yeah, that has definitely been a high for me overcoming cancer.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
for people that don't know, because I've never heard of what was the name of the cancer?
Hodgkin's lymphoma. Yep, it's a blood cancer.
It's a blood cancer. Oh
Yep,
wow. I'm thankful for you sharing that story.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely my story. It's
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah. Yep.
And do you, I don't know where I read it, but do you have, I saw something about chemotherapy on your Instagram.
Yep. And so that's crazy. My name Keem. It just
Right, right.
wordsmith, just kind of work.
Mhm.
That's been something that I've been working on. So chemotherapy has been my episodes where I encourage people, which is actually the name of my next project. It's
Mm.
called Chemotherapy. And so I'm just, going through that whole struggle and that whole mental battle, just to encourage people just far as just, how music was my chemotherapy, but me going through chemotherapy and then Keem being chemotherapy. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that how it goes hand in hand. Because I was reading, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So
Yeah.
good for you because what you went through, using it as an outlet. So I love that.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So let's talk about a low that you went through and how did you push through to keep going to where you are today?
Um, I have a lot of lows. I talk about a lot of lows in Black Summer. And I would definitely say the situation with the friends.
Mhm.
Um, One thing that I realize is that I've been forgiven, so I need to forgive. My mom is really big, I'm really super supremely close with my mom. Like, I don't care, like, you a mama's boy? Yeah. So what? I
Definitely.
love my mom. She's definitely an inspiration to me in so many ways, just seeing the stuff that she's been through. And I gained a lot of wisdom from her, just so much, so much, so much. But I'm just really big on forgiving stuff, so I was after going through that low, like it put me in a place to, like, they say hurt people. And I understand why, what I'm saying, when people go through something traumatic, why they lash out, or, just the evil, because when you hurt, what I'm saying, you want people to feel what you feel. But,
Mhm.
I just had to redirect that. I left and I just went on a trip, went to LA, went to Dallas. I just got away, I'm saying,
Mhm.
because it really moved me to a different place. And again, just my response to that was just knowing, God loves me, God forgives me. I have to extend that same thing to people, what I'm saying? Because just for me, just being a believer and, reading scriptures, there's this scripture where, Jesus says, forgive them for they know not what they do. And I think that takes a lot more strength than it does. It's easy I see it with the kids. You hit back. It's easy to hit back. You know what I'm saying? But the person that can show restraint, meekness is strength under control. So it don't mean you weak. It's
Mhm.
control. And so having that discipline and thinking from that matter that, you know what? I don't know their reason for why they did what they did. It hurt me, but you know what? I need to be a better person going forth. You know what I'm saying? My nephews need to see me. Yeah, this hurt me, but I'm not gonna let the shade make me cold. And so that's what the shade was. It was
Mhm.
about, don't allow this shade to make me cold. Shady
Mhm.
things happen. You know, Wind happen, but we gotta adjust ourselves. And so even though the weather is happening, I know the rain. All right, let me grab this raincoat and this umbrella. I'm using that as a,
Mhm.
analogy, so to speak, like
Yeah, that's
understanding like
really
I
good
can't
though.
control the weather, but I can throw on a big coat. It's cold
Mhm.
outside, and so just being more
Mhm.
responsible for my response and understanding, that my karma, that what I put into the world, that what goes out comes out. And even though these things happen to me, I can
Mhm.
redirect it.
Mhm.
But again, it don't make me weak by saying, you know what,
Mhm.
it is what it is. I'm straight. I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna with my head up high, you know. So it's definitely a growing process for me. It's, you know, I definitely see the maturity in that, but I also see the benefit, you know, just living through, because, you know, when you hold on to grudges and things of that nature, you'll find yourself, that stuff make you sick. That stuff make you ill. You can't be creative. You can't be, you know, the person you are by holding on to stuff. So through that low, I've learned to just let go. You know what I'm saying? Like Michelle Obama got this thing. She said, when they go low, we go high. You know, and so it's one thing to post it, but then it's a whole nother thing to, you know, just be that person that's walking it out. And so that's the thing that I decided to do. Like, all right, I got a dope Facebook status, but let me really let this thing out.
That's the difference. People will put on a facade all day on Instagram now.
Oh, yeah.
And when you meet them in person, they're a total different person.
Yep. Absolutely.
So what is one free advice that you would give either an artist, someone that may be battling cancer, a filmmaker, anything of that nature? What is one free advice that you can give them that's listening?
Yep. Crazy, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And please, anybody that's hearing me, hear me out. I really think consistency is overrated, because oftentimes when we're consistent, the moment that we stop, we think that, oh, something wrong with us. So I would like to look at consistency as just give it a different perspective as keep going. Because when you're in the car, you can't be consistent through red lights. You can't be consistent through traffic. You can't be consistent through potholes. You can't be consistent through accidents. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to find a way to keep going. We're going to stop. We're going to have times where we got to pause. We're going to have times where we need to rest, regroup, re-up on our money, see about family. And so life happens. The pandemic caused some inconsistencies, but we kept going. We got to learn to keep going. So I wouldn't say consistency is overrated. Just give it another view, because sometimes when we put in that work on that diet for 7 days and then the 8th day we mess up, we quit. No, on the 9th day, keep going. You know what I'm saying? You fall, keep going. You got into another bad relationship, you was doing good, it's cool, keep going, you know. And so sometimes we allow that moment of inconsistency to like ruin everything. And it's like, no, it's a new day. Like, you can keep going. Like, so just keep going. So my encouragement to anyone is like, yo, just keep going. Yep, you got to start over. It's all good, but just keep going.
That was really, really good. Oh my, that was really, I never thought about it like that. That's why my mouth dropped when you said it and the analogies. I'm like, I'm gonna write that one down for myself.
Please take it and run with it. Run with it.
That was good. So what's upcoming for Keem? How can you listen to your EP? What are your handlers? All things Keem.
Yeah. Everything is Keem the Franchise. That's KEEMTHEFRANCHIZE. I'm the only Keem the Franchise in the world. So if you Google that, like, you only gonna find me. Right now, just promoting this Black Summer. Just, you know, again, just connecting with people, just to be vulnerable. I believe that's the first start of healing. I've also just during this pandemic, a lot happened with me. Again, last summer, I was bedridden for 4 months. So I couldn't move, I couldn't walk because some complications from the chemo. I had some discs that slipped, and so I had to have back surgery from the chemo. Which was, you know, a possible side effect. And so I was bedridden. But through that time, when I tell you I wrote some stuff, I dreamed more. I wrote a bunch of children's books. So that's my next phase right now is I'm completing a children's book. It's finished, but it's been illustrated right now. And then from that, I'll be working on the chemotherapy. And so that was really my two things between the children's book and then another, you know, music, just kind of documenting the whole cancer journey, going through that. So that's what I'm working on right now. My dream is to have like a children's empire. That's dope. I feel like a lot of children's music be like corny. It's like, why can't it bang and be dope and the whole family just like be rocking, you know? And so just connecting with, again, my people, you know, because I don't think there's a lot of me as authors, as, you know, children cartoons that, our, people can connect with and learn from and be inspired to grow, be the change that they wish to see, stuff like that. So that's just a small glimpse of, what's next.
Thank you for sharing. That's going to be
Absolutely.
good. I'm excited for
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you. It's happening. It's happening.
Speak it. He
Yep.
said a children's empire.
Yep.
That's lovely. All right. So I usually end the conversation with a motivational moment, but I am going to twist it. Usually it's a quote, a Bible verse, sprinkle of Jesus, something of that nature that sparks my eye, and I share it with the audience. But we're going to twist it. And I want to know a quote, a Bible verse, anything that you live by that you like to share with the audience today, and why choose it.
Well, I got it right here on my, I keep it with me right here. There's a verse and it said, anything is possible when you believe. And it's just it's self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? You got to see it before you see it. Oftentimes you got to close your eyes and see it. What's so crazy, I just got this book. I ordered it, by the way. It's called See It, Feel It, Have It.
I love it.
Dope. Yeah. So, but I'm learning that just believe. You'd be surprised just what that mustard seed of faith, of believing will do. And just believe. I mean, ain't nothing, you don't have to have no evidence. You don't have to have no, in front of you. You can close your eyes, see, ask, believe. And that's the thing that I hope, people will believe in themselves, believe in love, believe that all things work together for the good, believe, just believe.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, King.
I know. Thank you.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed you today.
Likewise.
Is there any last thoughts, anything that you want that you like you forgot that you want to share with the people?
No, I just appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It's really dope to connect with like-minded people, like-minded individuals. And I pray and I hope that what you're doing just blows up, that it would be exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think. I love your energy. I love your spirit. Thanks for taking the time with me. And I just really hope that, whatever you put your hands to do, that it just would be blessed, So whatever I can do, you let us know. And yeah, I love what you do. So good stuff. Thanks for having me.
I receive and I wish the same for you. Many blessings, your projects now, in the future, everything that you got going on. God's hands on it. All right. Well, we thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of What's Good Podcast. If you're listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you and have a great one.